Hey guys, it's MJ, and let's talk about the Devil card today. So this is one of my favorite cards in the deck, and not so much when I see it in a reading, or especially not when I see it in a reading for myself, but for creating. I loved making the Devil card for the Crow Tarot, the Wise Dog, and the Grimalkin Tarot. So let's take a closer look at the Rider-Waite Devil, and you can see Pamela Smith really just captured that essence of the devil, that grotesque quality. You can see him, he's practically man-spreading here. He's just, the creature is like so smarmy in so many ways. And so alluring too. I mean, when you think about here, his legs being, what do you call it? Goat, right? These goat legs representing the wildness, this like untamedness of the devil. And we have these bat wings behind him here. And to me, that is that nocturnal nature. It's also about sonar. If you think about how bats hunt their prey, right? The devil hunts his prey very similarly. You know, he doesn't have to see who you are. He can pick up on your vibration, on your energy. If you're feeling very low vibration, you're perfect pickings for the devil, because the devil is going to make you feel good. The devil's going to give you excuses, right, to stay on the couch or to not get out of a state of comfort or to grow. He's going to ease friction, but not in a good way, not where you solve a problem. No, he's just going to eliminate that friction so that you stay put. And so if you look here with the lovers, right, these people here who are from the lovers card, you see that they're chained, and their chains are very loose. So the devil doesn't have a tight grip on them. You know, they're staying there on their own free will, but it's through manipulation that the devil keeps them enslaved. The devil is also holding a torch. And when I see this torch, what I think of is creativity and passion. So this may also indicate, as horrible as the devil is, sometimes we need to employ some of the tactics of the devil to get what we want, which may be we may need to use manipulation not destructively or to harm anybody, but sometimes you may need to use a little manipulation to get your way. You know, if you need to sweet talk your way into a building, perhaps to go get your wallet, that, you know, or if you need to, you know, convince your partner that a trip to Fiji is the way to go, even though they're hemming and hawing, you may need to use a little manipulation, some creativity there, because you know that in the end, it will be a wonderful trip. The devil has the horns. For me, when I see these horns, it's the bone, it's our true self, it's the stuff that's unmarked by flesh, it's the stuff that, you know, is our core, who we are at the beginning. And the upside down pentagram, which I believe is just, you know, the universal symbol for Satan. So let's look at the Crow Tarot. So the Crow Tarot here, you can see this crow is putting on a mask, right? It's pretending to be something that it's not. And it's holding, very similarly, it has this little bird, it has a chain, and the bird could free itself if it chose to. However, the bird stays here because it's protected by the crow. The bird feels a sense of ease, knowing that no other creature is going to come around and bother it, because the crow is here. What it doesn't realize, though, is that crow is really keeping this bird around for entertainment. You know, it's the crow that's really in control here. The crow could set this bird free at any time and say, see you later, you know, I don't need you. It's really the little bird who needs the crow here. And so when I think about how the devil energy works with the Crow Tarot deck, it's like I think about, you know, staying inside, like breaking up from somebody, putting on the sweatpants, grabbing the Ben and Jerry's, you know, and staying put on the couch, watching, you know, night after night of Netflix, gaining, you know, 20 pounds, all an attempt to prevent yourself from ever having to go through the pain of a breakup again. You're looking for protection. So the protection comes in the form of self-destructive behavior, such as, you know, putting on the weight, letting yourself go, losing your health, you know, and that's all a sense of masking the hurt that you're feeling from this, from the pain, from the breakup, right? So that could be anything. It could even be like from a job. If you, if you lost your job, right? The devil may come in and say, you know what? It's just so much easier to just, go move in with your parents. Just stay there. Don't do anything else. And don't face what you really need to face, which may be having to go back to school or having to rework your resume or getting out there and doing the hard work. The devil makes it easy to come up with excuses why you can't do that. It wants you to stay put in place. He wants you to stay down, right? The devil is most in power when he has you in those chains, right? So when you're free, when you're active, when you're taking care of things, when you're stepping up, when you're resolving areas of your life that cause discomfort in a healthy way, the devil loses his power. So here we have the wise dog, and this dog, for the devil, I love, like, I had to have a Chihuahua. At first I thought, maybe I should do like one of those like big bully breed, like a big Mastiff or something. But then I was like, oh no. Or, like the dogs from hell, like the Hounds of Baskerville, something like that. I'm like, but no. But the dog that best represents the devil is the dog that masks itself as being cute. The ones that people put little outfits on and little tiaras and, they wear pink rhinestone shirts that say princess, but then when you go to pet them, they bite off your finger. And I thought, well, a Chihuahua actually is the best devil. And so here we have this Chihuahua, and this Chihuahua is keeping these two dogs enslaved, basically, by promising something greater than what it's really delivering, right? It's creating this attachment to an idea like, hey, if you stay with me, I'm going to be a multimillionaire someday, so you may want to stay with me. You need to stick with me, and you're going to have to support me in my dream while I'm going after whatever it is I'm going, but I'm going to keep you tied in, whereas you're doing all the heavy lifting, and the devil is making promises for a brighter future that may not even include you, right? So that's how when I see this this devil, it's like somebody who sort of just strings you along, somebody who keeps an attachment, something. It could be anything. It could be anything where you feel that if you let it go, you may be losing something, but really you're already losing something. Does that make sense? Like you really don't have what it is that the devil is promising you. And you can see here with these dogs, I just imagine these poor emaciated dogs just licking whatever bits of meat they can get off these bones, because this Chihuahua is just basically throwing these dogs bones. And they're not nourishing their spirit, their body, they're becoming weaker. And that attachment is growing because every day there's that hope that, well, tomorrow I might get a bigger piece of meat, right? And so that's what this attachment is about. When you think about how we are attached to food or to drugs or to news, right? You're always wanting the next juicy bit, right? You're always wanting to hear, well, what happened next? That becomes an attachment. That's distracting you from going about your day and working towards something that would benefit you in some capacity. I know for me, I had to turn off the news. It became like every day I was like, what's that next pundit gonna say? Oh my God, what happened next, right? And you literally just like are just waiting for that next bit of news to drip out so that you can gobble it up, and it doesn't fill your spirit. It doesn't fill your soul in any way. And that could be anything. It could be an addiction to gossip. You could be at work and you're just waiting and you're clinging on every word that this person is saying to you. And what they're doing is, they have you in their clutches. They know that you're eager to hear what they have to say, and they could basically say anything to you, that you've given over your trust to this person. And so attachment attachment takes on many different roles or faces, right? It could be anything that you're attached to that you can't let go of. That's where the devil is present. And so here with the Grimalkin deck, you know, here we have this little mouse, and this mouse is trying to avoid suffering here. And so the devil makes it really easy. The devil, and I wanted, when I created this card, unlike the other cards here, unlike the Crow Tarot and the Wise Dog, I really wanted to make this card more of a caricature, you know, and to me it's like a fun house, like where the front, the facade looks like something else than what is behind it. So when you get in, it doesn't look anything like what you see in the front, right? It's just all fake. And that's what I wanted to portray here with this Grimalkin deck, is that idea that whatever it is that you're being lured into, that looks like something on the surface, once you go in deep, you realize it's nothing. It's just a void. It's not fulfilling whatsoever. The promise of protection is gone, and so, or the promise of avoiding any sort of trap, you actually fall into the trap. And again, the black background here, like the Rider-Waite Smith deck, is emptiness. It's going into nothing. It's going into a state of nothingness, where you're not flourishing at all. There's nothing to be gained there. In fact, you're going into a space where things are becoming empty, and you're not completing tasks, or you're not living the life you want to live, because there's no resources there to nourish you. And so here we have this little mouse who's being lured in to the cat's mouth by this big glowing piece of cheese, and you can see here that the devil left a little trail of cheese, little tidbits to show, hey, come this way, come with me. Here, I'll make you safe. I'll protect you. Oh, you know, is it really hard to take care of this task? Well, don't worry about it. Why? You know, is becoming an entrepreneur something that you want? Well, that's going to take a lot of work, and you know, you may not be able to manage all of that on your own. And what about insurance? You can't do that. That's going to cause, what if you get hurt? That could cause suffering. And so that's where the devil kind of comes in and says, oh, let me just take that away from you, right? Let me ease your suffering. And really what it's trying to do is it's trying to keep you in a place where you're not growing and you're not moving forward. And so this little mouse gets lured into the cat's mouth, and it's going to, when it clamps down on the mouth, you know, on the mouse, it doesn't escape any suffering. In fact, it finds more suffering. And so that's the devil in a nutshell. So when I think about the devil, again, you know, it could be on the positive side. It could be that you need to add some passion. It could be that you need to use your charisma, you know, that personal charm of yours to get something that you want. You may need to employ some of the tactics of the devil to get something that you want. But more often than not, what you need to look at is, are you avoiding something because it's so much more easy to stay put? Are you blaming others for areas of shortcomings in your life that you're not addressing because it's so much easier? There's an attachment to disowning any responsibility, right? It's easier to say, well, it's not my fault that I lost my job. My coworker, you know, didn't do enough to make the business succeed, right? Or my boss was a real butthead, and you know, if he wasn't such a butthead, I would still have my job, right? I mean, there are all these reasons that you can look at. The devil makes it easier to find those reasons. The devil makes it easier for you to, you know, rely on alcohol. A friend and I were talking about this last night, you know, how easy it is to go to a social event when you know that you're going to have a cocktail, but oh my God, if you gather 100 adults in a room and who are used to having a cocktail, and you say there's no alcohol here tonight, oh my God, what kind of conversations are you going to have? I bet it's going to be a quiet room. And so, you know, the areas in which we numb ourselves, areas in which we choose comfort over discomfort because discomfort doesn't feel good, you know, areas where we say, well, I don't want to do that task because, oh God, it's just such a chore, and I would rather just sit on the couch and watch Netflix. Or the excuses that we make up. As an artist, right? We love being creators. We like creating, right? But doing some of the other tasks that come along with being a full-time artist that pays the bills requires another part of the brain that puts us in a zone that is not so comfortable. So that's where the devil comes in and says, oh, don't do that. Like, the devil comes to me some days and said, oh, admin work, no, just go create. It's so much more pleasurable, isn't it? Right? But we know that we have to get into those states of discomfort to grow. We grow from friction, right? So I hope this makes sense. I hope I shared enough information about the devil for each of my cards. And when you see it in a reading, look at the other cards around the devil, right? Because that's going to give you insights as to where there may be an attachment, if it's with work, if it's with relationships. Are you avoiding getting hurt again? And you're protecting. The devil comes in as the great protector, otherwise known as Ben and Jerry, where he gets you to eat, get into unhealthy habits so that you don't have to face perhaps dating, because it's a lot easier to say, well, I don't want to go out and date because I want to just stay in and watch Netflix and eat ice cream. Or are you not going after a job because, oh God, just the idea of having to go through a resume and go through the whole interview process, and that's like the worst thing ever. The devil just amplifies those feelings. Yes, we can all agree. You know what sucks? Writing a resume. You know what sucks? Dating, like going out and dating somebody new. Totally sucks. But we do it because we want to experience life. The devil just amplifies the fears that come along with those feelings of discomfort. So I hope this makes sense. Much love to you, and I'll see you again with a different card. Peace.